the first and the foremost thing what we have to do is here is define the turbo machine. What is it actually? See, before actually defining it, what is the purpose of the turbo machine? The main purpose of the turbo machine is to transfer the energy. So that we have to keep in mind actually. So transfer of energy is what is the most important. Transfer of energy, either from energy is continuously transferred or intermittent transfer. So these are the things what we have to look into before we could define it. So the turbo machine, it is a device. Let me call it a device. It is a device through which there is continuous energy transfer. So this is very important between the flowing fluid. So between the flowing fluid to the spaces of blade or veins of the rotor. Fine. Due to dynamic action, okay, resulting in either increase in pressure, resulting in increase of pressure or in increase in pressure or your momentum, increase in pressure or momentum of the fluid. So this is a simple definition. What is it actually? Turbo machine, it's a device or it's a machine in which there is a continuous energy transfer between the flowing fluid and the flowing fluid, where exactly the fluid is flowing. So if I take, for example, if I take a turbo machine, something like this, so this is my hub. So then suppose this is my tip. I take this as a tip actually. So these are my blades. What's happening? The fluid is flowing. So continuously, either fluid is flowing from outside to inside or from inside to outside, whatever it may be. Depends on whether it is a compressor or a pump or a turbine, whatever it may be. The fluid is continuously flowing. So these are the veins. This is one vein. This is another vein. So I may be having a set of veins. It can be 10, 20, depending upon the size of your wheel. Okay. So this here I have having a shaft or whatever it may be, and this will be continuously rotating. So continuously rotating means actually there is a, see, what do you mean by continuous? You have to understand that. So continuous means it is a steady state and a steady flow. That means there is no intermittent. So water is continuously flowing. That's the meaning of it. So it's flowing between. I might be having another blade like this. I might be having another blade like this. I may be having another blade. So continuously along your hub to tip, I may be having this blades and the fluid is flowing. See everywhere, wherever I'm showing the color yellow, I'm trying to show it. So fluid is continuously flowing in this space. So it can be from, if it's a turbine, from outside to inside, if it's a compressor, from inside to outside. Okay. And all this is mainly lead to what action? This is mainly because of dynamic action. What is dynamic action? Dynamic action means rotating. So when I rotate, what will happen? Okay. Now, what will happen when it's rotating? There is an increase in the pressure. So if I take a compressor or a pump, actually, there is an increase in the pressure. Or when the fluid is transferring energy, the rotor or your mold turbine will start rotating. So I am trying to give as simple as a definition. So what's a turbo machine? It's a device through which there is continuous energy transfer between the flowing fluid through the spaces of the blades or vanes of a given rotor due to dynamic action resulting in increase in pressure or momentum of the fluid. This is as simple as definition of a turbo machine. Fine. Now, what are the parts of a turbo machine? Parts of a turbo machine. Oh, that I have simple sketch here. Look at it. A turbo machine will have this simple parts. One, it should have an inlet. The inlet is where the fluid will flow in. Okay. Then it should have what is called as an outlet or exit where the fluid will go out or exit. So it has an inlet, it has an exit. Fine. Then it has a shaft. It has a shaft where your rotor, what we call it as a rotor, is actually, it is actually, I'm going to fix your rotor on the shaft or to the shaft. Okay, through some kind of davatile joint or whatever it may be. So it is actually, the rotor is fixed to the shaft. On the rotor, I am going to put the blades. It's something like, I have this, see, this is what I have actually. I have a shaft like this, something like this. I have a shaft, suppose this is my shaft. On the shaft, I do have a rotor. I'm just trying to show, if suppose this is the rotor. Okay, on the rotor, I'm going to fix this blades like this on either side. Okay, I'm going to fix this blades on either side of it. Okay, this being a multi-stage, I'm showing, that's it. Now, I need to cover it because if I don't cover it, what will happen? The water will go out. So I need some kind of a casing. So I'm going to close it. So this is your casing or your outer housing, whatever it is, casing or housing or. Now, so this casing will have one kind of a fixed blades. What is the purpose of these blades actually? They will be guiding the fluid from one rotor to the other rotor. Fine. This is the casing. So what will happen? The fluid will enter like this. So it will go to the first stator. The stator will guide it to the next rotor. The fluid will go like this, or it will be going like exactly like this. So that's how it is. The fluid will be going from this side to inlet to exit like this. So this is my inlet and this is my exit. Fine. So if you look at it, what are the parts of your turbo machine? This is how it is. Actually, I showed a simple sketch. It has an inlet, it has an exit, it has a shaft on which you have the rotor. The rotor will have the rotor blades. Then it has a stator or a housing, and it has a stator blades. Okay. Now, what is the rotor? Okay, let's say like what is the purpose of each and everything. So we have first one, rotor. So it's also called as, few books they call this as runner or impeller. Okay. What is it? It is a wheel. It is a wheel which is made of any kind of a metal. Any kind of a metal. It can be an alloy steel or it can be chromium, it can be nickel steel, whatever it may be. It is a wheel made of metal. It is a wheel made of metal. Okay. It has a hub. What is it actually? The inner, this is one. Look at this particular thing. So what I'm showing, the inner diameter of all those things we call as a wheel. Okay, it has a hub. Okay, this hub can be with a hub which can be cylindrical or conical or cylindrical in shape. Depends on what type of it is actually, whether I'm going for a centrifugal one or it is an axial one. And what will happen even when you have this kind of a thing, cylindrical or conical thing, so maybe fluid can be see if it is diverging, it can be a turbine. If it is converging, it becomes a compressor, because the fluid has to get compressed. So the density changes will have a lot of impact on the size and shape of your rotor or whatever it may be. But if you look at it, actually, it's something like it is a wheel, it is made of a metal. It should have a hub and it can be conical or cylindrical in shape. And what will happen? Through which fluid is operating. Okay, through which the fluid is operating. Okay, next we have what is called as the rotor blade or vane blade or vanes. See, these rotor blades are aerodynamic in shape. Blades are aerodynamic in shape. They are not flat. They are not flat. I think if you come to the college, I'll take you to, we have some demo where we have a couple of gas turbines near that workshop. I'll show that actually how exactly the blades are actually. They are twisted. If you take for a compressor, the blades are twisted from hub to tip. The twisting, why they do all those things, we'll try to explain. So they are all aerodynamic in shape. So if one end is fixed to the rotor and the other end is free. Okay. So aerodynamic in shape and they are fixed on the periphery. Periphery means outer. Periphery of the rotor. Okay. So this is your rotor blades actually. And what will happen? The fluid will flow through these veins. Okay. The fluid flows through these blades. Okay. Then the third one is your stator or housing, whatever it may be. See, it is we can call it as a cover. So it is the cover or it is the outermost cover. It is the outermost cover, so that, see, outermost cover of the turbo machine such that the fluid, the working fluid does not spill, or see, if does not spill. See, one more advantage of this, but because of this non-spilling action, I could see there is a dynamic action under it. So, and also sometimes, see, it doesn't spill. It also converts the kinetic head. We call it as kinetic. Let me write it. It also converts the kinetic head to pressure head. So I think when we come to the centrifugal compressor or centrifugal pumps, we'll discuss on this. It's called as a spiral casing. We may be having a spiral casing or a volute casing or a vortex casing, whatever may be. So this casing So the fluid is coming out of your impeller or a rotor. When it comes out, this fluid, I see it comes with some amount of kinetic energy, some velocity. I don't want that velocity. That velocity has to be converted to corresponding pressure, because what is required in case of a compressor or your pump is, I need a higher pressure. Okay, so this kinetic energy will be get converted to the corresponding pressure rate. Okay, then we do have two more things. One is, which are very important, your stator blades. Your stator blades. Okay, so what is the purpose of the stator blades? The stator blades, it guides the fluid or the working fluid from one rotor blade, from one rotor blade to the other, or to the, we can call it as to the adjacent, to the adjacent rotor blade. Anyhow, so other three things are there which is very important. One is a shaft. The shaft is either, which is the one which takes either the power from the, if it's a compressor, it takes the power from the motor, or if it is a power producing machine, it gives the, it makes the generator something to rotate, and we have the inlet from through which fluid will enter the turbo machine, and we have the exit through which the fluid goes out. But among this, these four are very important: rotor, rotor blade, stator, and stator blades. So this is about your, so how to define what do you mean by a turbo machine, and what are the parts of a turbo machine. Now, if we need to look at the classification of it, so how we can classify these turbo machines? See, if you look at the broad classification, so I can go with the flow of energy. So the classification, I can go something like this. Classification of turbo machines. The first classification, based on the direction of the energy flow, based on the direction of the energy flow. What is it? Say for example, I have a fluid, say take a turbine. Usually what we try to do, we try to store the fluid in a dam. Okay, so once we open the, maybe if you allow the fluid to flow through the penstock, it will have some amount of energy. So the fluid is having certain amount of energy, so the fluid will transfer the energy to the rotor. That means it will transfer the energy to the rotor and make the shaft to rotate, and that shaft in turn rotates the generator, so we get some kind of a, so the fluid is giving the energy to the rotor. If this is the case, what we can call those machines as power producing machines. Fine. Another side is there. What we have, we want to pass on the, we have something called as an electric motor. This electric motor will give the energy to the shaft, and shaft will rotate the impeller. So the impeller will transfer the energy to the fluid. So that's just like a pump, centrifugal pump or something, or compressor, where the rotor is transfer the energy, rotor to the fluid, so that I can get the required pressure. Right? And these are called as power absorbing machines. So based on flow of energy, I have two types. One is power producing machines, and the second one is power absorbing machines. Let's look at the second classification. The second classification is based on the direction of the fluid flow. Based on the direction of the a fluid flow in the veins. See, based on the fluid flow through the veins of the machine. What is it actually? Say, I have let me write a simple turbo machine like this. So this is my axis, okay, and I do have a shaft like this. Okay, this is my shaft, and on this, see, this is my this thing. I will be having a rotor. Let me have this rotor like this. Okay, this is my rotor. On this, I am going to put a blade. I am just showing you for simple construction. I am showing you one simple blade. That's it. Okay, I have a blade like this. Now, see if I call, this is along the axis. Let me call this as X, and this is I call it as Y. See, the fluid is flowing along the axis. That means it is in direction. This in this direction. If it is along the axis, actually it's along the axis if the fluid is parallel to the axis of rotation. So the first kind of machine I can call it as axial flow machines. Okay, so there are a couple of examples I can give. So you can just look at actually Kaplan turbine. I think when you come to this hydraulic turbines, we'll discuss more on it. And we have axial flow compressor. We have propeller. If you look at it, this is the radius. See, this is my, at any given point, if you look at for any machine, this is the radius. This is the direction on which I will have the radius. That means a circle. If I put a circle, so it's the radial direction. So if the flow is in this particular direction along the radius of the machine, I call that as radial flow. Fine. So the second type of, actually, if it is exactly perpendicular to your axis, so at any given point, if you draw the angle, this is exactly 90 degrees. If the fluid flow is in radial direction, so those are called as radial flow machines. And those are also called as centrifugal machines, because we know that the centrifugal force acts in the radial direction. So radial flow machine, RFMs, or centrifugal flow machines. So for them we have certain examples. So centrifugal pump, fine. We have centrifugal compressor, fine. And we have the maybe Francis turbine, which is little bit of radial flow machine, fine. So Francis turbine, the olden Francis turbine, because the modern Francis turbine is a mixed flow, actually. Fine. Next, actually, so we do have certain machines. Say for example, I have a Pelton wheel. If suppose this is the wheel, see, you have a wheel like this, fine. I have a wheel, and I'm going to put the blades like this. This is how I'm going to put the blade. Now, to this blade, what I'm going to do actually, I have a nozzle. So suppose this is the nozzle. This is the nozzle, and fluid will strike the nozzle tangentially like this. So we do have such type of machines where the flow is exactly tangent to the, it need not be to the wheel, it may be some imaginary dimension, imaginary median, or you have what is called as maybe the median of your, the center point of your vein. Yeah, maybe this one. So look at it, there's a center point of your wheel, it may be tangent to it. That means whatever may be, the fluid is exactly tangent to the wheel. If the fluid flow is exactly tangent to it, so such type of machines we call it as tangential flow machines. So the best example for that is your Pelton turbine or Pelton field. And we do have certain machines where it is neither axial nor radial. So tangent flow is one particular category we have, it's excluded. So what we may be having, so you may be having something like this. So this is your axial, this is your radial. So the fluid may be somewhere like this. It is neither axial nor radial. So such type of machines, which is neither radial nor axial, we call that as mixed flow machines. Okay, so we do have maybe if you want me to give some examples, actually, the modern Francis turbine, the Francis turbine, fine. And maybe if you look at the tidal power plant, we use what is called as a tidal plant. These are some of the examples of mixed flow machines. Okay. If you look at the other type of classification, let me look at the third type of classification, the type of fluid medium. See, depending upon the type of the fluid used or fluid medium used, actually. If I use some kind of an oil, water, etc., those are called as hydro turbo machines. So those are, if I use water, oil, etc. If I use burnt gases, actually, those are called as thermal turbo machines. So one example is your gas turbine, where we are going to use burnt gases. Fine. So if I use steam as the working fluid, then those machines are called as steam turbo machines or steam turbines. So steam is the working fluid. So depending upon the type of fluid what I want to use. Okay. Maybe the broad classification what I'm looking at. So one more classification, if I look at it, actually, based on the type of dynamic action of the fluid. What is the dynamic action means? Whether I'm trying to convert what type of energy. See, usually we have either potential energy, pressure energy, or kinetic energy. So if I try to convert the kinetic energy to mechanical energy, so if I try to convert the kinetic energy to mechanical energy, so those are called as impulse turbo machines or impulse machines. Maybe the second classification is I will be having both the partly kinetic energy and your pressure energy, both combined together. Kinetic energy may be a few percentage, pressure energy may be few percentage. So kinetic and potential energy to your mechanical energy. If I try to do that, what type of machine is this? Those are called as your reaction machines. Fine.